Okay, hello everyone. Welcome to Food Frontiers, the podcast series where we connect with visionary leaders revolutionizing the agriculture value chain from farm to fork. Today, we are thrilled to welcome Mr. Kshitij Thakur, an engineering graduate and the co founder of Agrograde Robotics. With a mission to combat post harvest losses and streamline trading in agriculture, Mr. Kshitij and his team has developed innovative AI solutions that significantly enhance the marketability of fruits and vegetables. Agrograde robotics is transforming the industry by introducing much needed standardization and transparency throughout the supply chain, effectively reducing post harvest crop loss. The impact of their cutting edge technology has not gone unnoticed, earning recognition from esteemed organizations and backing from institutions like IMA, CIAE.co, Social Alpha, and Wilcro. Additionally, they have received support from leading incubators and accelerators like NVIDIA and NASCOM 10K, and they have received accolades for its innovation from organizations like Mahindra and BSA. We are eager to hear from Mr. Kshitij about their insights and experiences which they have gathered over the year. So, over to you, sir.
Thank you, Efra. Thank you for this warm introduction. Glad to be a part of this podcast series. We believe there's a much needed wave of innovations happening throughout this country, and the ecosystem itself is growing quite fast and is quite supportive of each other. But we desperately need solutions designed for Indian ecosystems, designed for Indian users, that can bring about the much needed change, whether it comes to sustainable agriculture and also in terms of how can we solve decade-old problems in the supply chain.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. This is the requirement of the times. I understand. So, could you elaborate, like, what inspired you to start the Agrograde, and what are the gaps that you have seen in the farming sector that motivated your efforts? If you could provide some insights about your journey so far, like, briefly.
Sure, sure. Uh, so typically what we were looking at is in agriculture, we see a big gap between farm to fork when the produce reaches consumers. We are not aware of what happens in the back end. We often hear complaints about farmers not getting the fair price of their produce. But we also hear there is a lot of food loss that is happening. There is frequent price fluctuations. Overall, agriculture has not been as glamorous as a sector to attract new technological innovations. I being a mechanical engineer, I always had a fascination towards new technology and automation. And I come from a farming family myself. So a group of friends of mine from engineering, we were just looking at the problems that we are quite interested towards, right? And agriculture was something that we wanted to. That was sort of a moral responsibility for us. If not us, then who would come and solve all this, right? We were working in industrial automation back then, and agriculture was one of the applications of it. We hadn't looked at agriculture quite seriously. But then when we started diving deeper into the supply chain, the problems that are being faced by everyone in the ecosystem, it is not just farmers or traders or consumers. I think we have a lot of leakages in the supply chain where we
Okay.
could solve for a lot of issues. So key issues
Yeah,
being post-harvest
okay.
losses.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, okay. So, could you briefly describe your products? Like, how are they exactly enhancing the marketability of the produce, and while they are also reducing the post-harvest losses, and in what ways do they contribute to a efficient and transparent trading process in agriculture?
Sure. So whenever the produce is harvested out of farms, we have a mixture of different grades and quality parameters. For example, if you're harvesting, say, tomatoes or potatoes, we would always have smaller potatoes, larger potatoes that have been affected by a disease, or potatoes that have been physically damaged for some reason, or produce that is visually unappealing, which may not fetch a good price in the market, misshaped ones. In terms of tomatoes, there may be a virus attack on certain tomatoes. Some tomatoes would be overripe, some would be underripe. Same case with any other fruits and vegetables, right? We typically work in onion, potato, and tomato other than other fruits, but our majority crops that we focus on has been onion and potato. There, what we've seen is because we do not have any tools or infrastructure where we could segregate the produce based on its marketability, we first is lack we do not have any price discovery mechanism that this particular grade of produce should fetch this price, like we have in probably cereals and pulses, but we do not have it here. Second is quality is very subjective. If for me, if I'm a seller, if I'm the farmer and you are the buyer, uh, you would not be able to come on the same page in terms of quality standardization. And third is the distance that comes between the buyer and seller. When we are looking at adoption of portals like ENAM, which is the National Agriculture Marketplace, which was built to connect farmers or sellers from one geography to the other geography. How can I assure quality to the person who's not sitting in the same city or is not in the same state as us? So that is where we thought we need technologies which could segregate this, which could segregate produce grade wise so that we get a fair price for the harvest. And second is wherever we see low shelf life produce, can it be segregated and can it be processed before it goes through a lot of transit time of probably a week before reaching consumer markets? Can it be utilized? So one of the things that we work on is our aim is that we want to increase the value realization or value capture per kilogram of fresh produce that is
Okay,
harvested.
okay,
So
okay,
our machines use deep learning and robotics, where
okay,
we capture multiple data points of each and every fruit that goes to the machine. These data points being images,
okay,
some details from the sensors that we're using in, and weight. So physical characteristics are then analyzed by our proprietary software, which then segregates the produce into multiple categories. So, for example, a particular produce has only days of shelf life left. It can be consumed in the same geography. It need not travel from, say, Pune to Delhi or Pune to Mumbai. It can be consumed domestically so that thereby reducing the waste. Second is since we have segregated the produce based on tangible parameters, which are standardized because of the machine and the software, there is a transparency between buyer and seller.
yeah, yeah,
Thus, we
definitely.
can now move on to online marketplaces. Now we
Okay,
have a technology assisted trust. That is
okay,
where we
okay,
increase the marketability of the produce and
okay.
reduce the resistance or friction between buyer and seller.
Okay, 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 that is something really interesting. So, as you said that you are improving the marketability as you are building trust and you are providing a good quality produce. So, like, how does it affect the cost and finances for the farmers? Like, it might increase the cost for farmers, but how do you ensure that it remains affordable for them while also maintaining the quality standards and stuff?
See, so basically, whenever the produce is harvested, especially in fresh produce, the produce has to be segregated. So grading and sorting is a key component of the post-harvest supply chain. Once the produce is graded and sorted, right now it is manually, which attracts a heavy cost because labor costs are one of the key components of the entire economic structure of farming. So what the farmer has to incur those costs. So after incurring the cost, because this is completely manual in nature, the farmer also loses very critical shelf life. So after the produce is harvested, ideally it should reach the markets in plus or minus other than plus 1 or 2 days, not more than that. Because the manpower is not available or because there is no machineries or infrastructure available, the farmer has to break it down into chunks and is not able to utilize the resources at the fullest. Plus, there is a heavy cost that he has to incur. So, what we do is
One is while we are standardizing and helping increase the marketability of the produce, we are also reducing their costs. To the extent we have been able to reduce the grading, sorting, and packing cost up to 77%. And that is a huge win for us. We typically have seen adoption of these technologies in clusters. For example, a single farmer would purchase it and a group of farmers would then rent it out. So we've also seen micro entrepreneur use
Yeah,
cases pop up.
that is a good thing. Like if they are able to combinedly use the technology.
So uh, in fact, we encourage such economies where there is such usage where multiple people or multiple farmers can benefit from its piece of technology. Second is most of our customers are also farmer producer organizations or FPOs. They also purchase an equipment so that this can be utilized by their member farmers. And third is we have also have our own grading and sorting centers or pack houses where we offer this on a pay-per-use model. So we did not, in fact, why we wanted to do this, the thought process behind it is that any technology should be accessible uh, and to anyone in the supply chain. So we want to remove as many barriers as we can.
Yeah,
One is
definitely.
definitely uh, through partnering with FPOs, we've been
Mhm.
able to promote renting out of such machineries
Okay.
to someone who won't be able to afford it or
Okay.
someone who needs it desperately.
Okay.
We also have come up with machines which are portable in nature.
Okay.
So
Okay.
you need your the machine is not locked up in a single place.
Okay.
It
Okay.
can be moved around
Yeah.
to the farm gate, effectively making purchasing from farms very easy. Now, this way, it helps the farmer reduce the transportation cost from the farm to the mandi as well.
Yeah.
Now, different geographies have different supply chains, but this is our way of advocating technology for everyone. We
Yeah,
have
definitely. You are enhancing the
machines.
accessibility of them. So definitely
So
it is.
over 7 years, we also done is we have developed smaller machines, compact machines,
Okay.
which can be utilized in a small farms as well. It need not be at a high capacity. We started with higher capacities first, but
Okay.
we now also have smaller compact units, and we
Okay.
also have partners who rent these machines out
So,
to anyone in need.
yeah, as you have partners and you have like collaborations from major organizations and support like from NVIDIA and Bosch. So, what are the areas, key areas that you are collaborating with these big names and big partners? If you could like bring light on that.
So, NVIDIA and Bosch were uh, our supporters in our very initial phases of our startup. So we are building hardware, and building hardware is extremely hard. We need, and we've not been veterans in this industry, right? We are quite a bunch of young folks trying our best to solve a very genuine problem through technology. And there, organizations like these, what they did is they helped startups like us, the founders like us, to build better products and to understand where we could go wrong, to connect us with mentors. The time that we spent with them has been very fruitful for us, very helpful for us to build a quality product. Because when we say we manufacture, we design and manufacture for Indian users, we take extreme pride in it. Very, I would say this very limited number of companies have been able to build machines that work in dust prone conditions, in harsh environments, where temperatures fluctuate from 7 degrees can go up to 45, 50 degrees in fields. It takes extreme engineering, extreme, the high number of trials, very high repeat, very high product iterations to get there. Organizations like even our incubation centers, there's IGKV, Raipur, the Social Alpha, this will grow. Our mentors throughout the early days. Uh, Definitely SIBA is there. We have NASCOM, NVIDIA, Bosch. These organizations have always helped us navigate through those challenges in one way or the other. And we've been very fortunate to have been
Okay.
supported by them.
Okay, so as you've said that these organizations have supported you at your earlier stage. So, what is your assessment of the current state of India's agri-tech industry, like, and how you are playing a role? As you have said that you are playing the role of making the technology accessible to the farmers. So, what is your assessment of the industry, and what do you see, like how? What is the future lie ahead in this sector and the industry?
Honestly, I personally keep meeting a lot of founders and startups throughout the month, right? Because I keep traveling for installations in remote locations. And the technologies I'm seeing is quite honestly surprising. The level of advancements that we've been able to do, the level of dedication I'm seeing, and it is throughout the supply chain, right? And it's only been few, I would say, decades, if not years, that we've seen such growth in agri-tech, right? I, and I think we are also seeing a lot of passionate rural entrepreneurs who are not in the mainstream media, not covered in the mainstream media, uh, developing extremely amazing technologies. And I think even in terms of the competing startups, I think there's a positive way where everybody is encouraging the other to build better solutions for the users. There's no negative impact as such. Right? So that is a
Okay.
very good ecosystem to be in, very good environment to be in, where you are pushing each other to strive for the best, and in turn, uh, benefiting your users and farmers. As I'm extremely bullish on the developments in hardware technologies. Uh, we have quite a few startups here in Pune, Nashik region, and they've been doing extremely well, where they are building 0 to 1 products, products that do not even have a category. They trying their best to build technologies, right from farm mechanization to helping reduce post harvest losses to helping use the low shelf life or produce to process it and deliver, I would say, fresh fruits and vegetables right from farm to the store or to the consumer. So throughout the supply chain, we're seeing extremely amazing innovations. And I think this is
Okay.
going to keep on increasing because every crop or every region has their different unique needs. So what is happening in Maharashtra would have a very similar pattern in north or northeast or even south. And we'll see multiple variations of technologies being used in different ways, as long as it is helping the supply chain and the ecosystem, it is all good.
Yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely. We are seeing a growth in the innovation and the technological landscape in the country. So, I would like to ask the last question, but not the least. So, what are the aggregates plan for national and international expansion? And what are the areas that you are going to focus for the future growth? Like any
So
portfolio?
right now,
Yeah.
we've been working on expanding our portfolio of crops. We've been working across 9 different fruits and vegetables. Now we are trying to add more to it as we move ahead. We're also trying to develop newer technologies, advanced technologies, while making our existing technologies more accessible through partners in multiple geographies. Uh, so our growth is, but definitely we wanted to build for India, start from India, because that is where we thought that there's a desperate need for it. Now we are also looking at other markets where we could uh, sort of reach and try to solve the similar problems in those geographies.
Okay.
So
So that
definitely, the
is really
international
cool.
markets definitely in plan. We would be expanding. So, uh,
Okay, okay,
but yeah,
definitely. So,
looking
okay.
forward to it.
Yeah, yeah, great, great. All the best for that. Okay, so thank you, Kshitij, for your valuable insights and the experiences, and for such an interesting conversation. It's inspiring to hear about how your company is making significant impact in the sector. And thank you for our listeners to listening to this episode. Keep subscribing and stay tuned for more conversations. I think we'll end it. Over to you if you want to say something.
Thank you, Efrat. This was an amazing discussion.
Okay,
I'm really looking forward to hearing more agri founders on this podcast and
definitely.
hoping to motivate a new wave of budding entrepreneurs to come and solve problems in Indian agriculture ecosystem.
Okay,
Thank you
yeah,
for
yeah,
having me.
definitely. Thank you so much.